Have you ever noticed that when we're hurting the most, we become world class actors? We smile, we laugh, and then we hide. We've been doing it for thousands of years. In fact, the very first story about us starts with a talking dragon, a piece of fruit, and people diving into bushes. I was reading Genesis 3 recently, and I got stuck on that serpent. We're introduced to a serpent with legs who talk. And we're just all supposed to accept that casually. To me, that's not a snake. It's a dragon giving out life advice like a neighborhood therapist. And then God punishes him. I sat there thinking, wait, why did you punish the serpent for being clever? If my dog did a trick and I grounded her for it, I'd be the villain. But the more I sat with it, the more I realized the dragon isn't even the wildest part of this story. The wildest part is what happens after the fruit is eaten. The moment Adam and Eve eat the fruit, they don't suddenly turn into like evil people. They become aware, and that awareness hits them really fast. They realize they're naked, they feel exposed, they feel shame. So they do what they do, they hide. So here's what surprised me though. God doesn't come in screaming. He asks them a question. Where are you? It didn't sound like anger. It actually sounded like a father looking for his children. And that's when it kind of hit me. Shame didn't come from the fruit. It came from recognition, the moment innocence meets accountability. And then I realized we are all still in that garden. We still hide, not just from God, but from ourselves as well. So this story isn't just an ancient story. It's kind of like my story, and maybe yours too. For me, I spent a long time hiding in the bushes. It was infertility for me and not a fruit. I spent basically my entire 30s trying to have a baby, on and off, hope and heartbreak. My husband and I went through a decade of being poked, prodded, tested, and let down. It was physically and emotionally draining. I spent my 30s chasing a dream that never came. And journey, in that journey, I felt so much shame. Not because I did something wrong, but because I felt my body was broken. Like I wasn't fulfilling my obligation as a woman. My husband had his from a previous relationship, but I still wanted ours and I couldn't. So I did what we all do. I hid. I hid the depression. I hid the longing. I hid how deep the pain went, even from my husband, from everyone, actually. When people asked, I'd laugh it off and change the subject. I hated that look people gave you when you say you don't have children. I avoided baby showers and birthdays like they were the plague. Anything that reminded me of what I didn't have, because seeing what I lacked felt so heavy and I couldn't carry it. I blamed myself, I blamed God, and I wasn't even religious. But I needed someone to hold the blame because I couldn't hold it all myself. I imagined a world where I'd be the kind of mother who saw her kids deeply and then loved them gently. But that world didn't come. So I poured my love into my dog and she filled a space that desperately needed filling. I'm 46 now and in a much better place. By the time I was 42, I had fully accepted that I wouldn't have children. But I've learned that acceptance doesn't mean the longing disappears. Even now, when I'm around babies or hear children laughing, something tugs at me. A quiet ache, a shadow of depression, and I sweep it under the rug real quick because I know how deep and dark that place can go. Like I said, I'm a lot better now, but I won't lie. Envy still visits me. I still get heated when I see parents who don't cherish the children that I would have given anything for. It just stirs something in me, and I'm not proud of it, but that's real. That is really what I'm feeling. But here's the hope I found in Genesis. God's first response to our mess, our vulnerability, the places where we feel incomplete, wasn't a lecture. It was an invitation to step out of the shadows. So when I think about it, why did God ask Adam and Eve, "Where are you?" if he already knew? He wasn't playing hide and seek with them. My guess is he was giving them a chance to speak their story out loud. He was inviting them, basically, out of the bushes. He didn't run from them when they were hiding and ashamed. He actually came looking for them. So, my takeaway is Genesis 3 isn't about a fruit. It's about the moment humanity started hiding from themselves. And maybe the real journey of faith is learning to stop hiding, to say, "Here I am, God. I'm messy, I'm a little envious, and I'm hurting, but I'm here." Because I now think He's already in the garden looking for you, waiting for you. So, anyway, thank you for letting me share my story today. It's not always easy to talk about, but it feels good to be out of the bushes. If you feel comfortable, what grief have you tucked away, hoping no one would notice? What longing have you buried so deep that you forgot it was even there? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'll see you next time.